welcome to Cook with Divya. If you're new to my channel, my name is Divya and I make cooking and baking videos both in English and Tamil. Do check out my Tamil channel, Cook with Divya Tamil. In this video, we will be making an amazing and delicious mutton biryani. Biryani, an evergreen classic, really needs no introduction. It's aromatic, it's heavenly, and one of the most loved delicacies not just in India but across the globe. The style of cooking biryani is different in different parts of the world. There are several variations to this one single dish. Every house makes a different kind of biryani. Today we will be making my most favorite Tamil Nadu style mutton biryani, an amazing recipe taught by my mother-in-law who is a super awesome cook. Let's get started. To begin with, let's prepare biryani masala. That is the secret to this recipe. Taking around half a teaspoon of cumin seeds, half a teaspoon of fennel seeds, 2 small pieces of cinnamon, clove, cardamom each, 1 big chunk of ginger and 10 pods of garlic and half ripe tomato. Along with half onion, few coriander leaves, mint leaves and around 5 to 10 green chilies. Now green chilies is purely according to your spice level. Let's blend them all. Now that our masala is ready, let's begin. Today we will be making biryani with 2 kilos of mutton. So if you are using 1 kilo of mutton, you can reduce the ingredients by half. So adding in around 5 large tablespoons of oil. Now this is a traditional recipe and certain recipes require a bit more of oil and there are different stages of cooking, so adding this much oil is important. Once the oil is hot, adding in around half a teaspoon of fennel seeds, 2 small sticks of cinnamon, 4 cardamom pods, half star anise, 3 bay leaves optional and 2 small pieces of cloves. Now let's just saute them for a minute before adding in our biryani masala. Make sure not to burn them. Now adding in our biryani masala that we just ground. Give it a nice stir and saute them for around 2 minutes, making sure not to burn them at all. Around 3 minutes of cooking, our biryani masala looks well cooked, the color slightly changes and the oil begins to ooze out. At this stage, let's add around 4 large roughly chopped onions and give them a nice stir. Wait till the color changes again. So now let's just quickly give it a nice stir and the masala kind of looks dry to me, so I'm adding around a teaspoon of oil for the visual satisfaction. Honestly, adding more or less oil at this stage is purely your wish. Give it a nice stir. Now remember that biryani is not a diet food. You don't have to make it too oily, but yeah, I'm giving it a nice mix, making sure the onions and the biryani masala blend really well. It's very important that the onions reach beyond the translucent stage so there is no raw flavor in your biryani. Let's simmer for a few minutes. Now I've taken around a handful of coriander leaves, mint leaves and 5 green chilies and roughly blended them and adding right now for an additional boost of flavor. This step is purely optional. You really don't have to do it, but I like to do it. Now let's nicely stir it and simmer for a few minutes until the color changes. Now adding in around 3 medium-sized tomatoes. I have just taken 3 tomatoes. It looks a lot because I have finely chopped them. Don't be tempted to add too many because it would turn out like tomato rice rather than biryani. So biryani has to have the tomato a bit muted, not like literally a lot. Now let's give them a nice stir and again wait for the tomatoes to change their color. After just few minutes of cooking, the color has nicely changed. The masalas look well blended, the tomatoes looks well sauteed, and at this stage, let's add all our spice powders. Now adding in around half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. I've already added enough salt while sauteing the onions and tomatoes. If you want to add more salt, you can do so at this stage. Adding 2 large tablespoons of chili powder. Remember, we've already added green chilies. Now I'm adding 2 teaspoons of a homemade biryani masala powder. I will definitely be posting this recipe soon. This biryani masala definitely takes your biryani to the next level. It's purely optional, but if you can make it, it's an amazing option. Now let's give it a nice stir again. All the spice powders and the wet masalas blend really well. Give it a nice stir and just let it simmer for just 2 minutes before we add our other ingredients. Now that our masala is well, adding our mutton. I'm adding around 2 kilos of mutton today. Let's give it a nice stir before we transfer it to a pressure cooker. We really don't have to cook the mutton at this stage, just making sure all the masalas are well blended, and that's it. Now we have transferred our masala into the pressure cooker for the mutton to boil very well. I have just used 1 cup of water to wash the pan and adding it to the gravy. Let's give it a final stir before we pressure cook the mutton. Today we are going to pressure cook for around 3 whistles. Now that our masala is almost done, on the other hand, let's start the dum process itself. This kind of saves time when you work simultaneously. I've taken a large deep dish to make the biryani and adding around 2 large tablespoons of oil and 2 teaspoons of ghee. I'm not adding a lot of ghee because the flavor of the ghee will quite dominate the biryani flavor. Now once the oil and the ghee kind of heats up, adding just a pinch of fennel seeds, 1 cardamom, 1 clove, 1 cinnamon sticks and very few mint leaves. This just kind of enhances the flavor profile of the rice and the masala and gives a nice fresh masala flavor. Yeah, so let's just saute them for a few minutes. Now it's time to add our rice. I've soaked around 4 cups of basmati rice for about 30 minutes. We like to add equal amount of rice to mutton. So in this case, we've taken 4 cups of mutton and 4 cups of rice, which is almost equal. Make sure to drain all the water before adding the rice and give it a gentle stir, making sure not to break the rice. The next step is to add 1 tablespoon of yogurt. Sour or not sour is not a problem. Just regular, any yogurt is fine. In the meantime, the mutton is well cooked. It took me around 3 whistles for the mutton to be nice and soft. Back in India, it takes me around 6 to 7 whistles for the mutton to be nice and well cooked. So basically you would know it better. Just make sure the mutton does not become too mushy. Now it's time to add the water. For every 1 cup of rice, we need to add 2 cups of water. I'm also measuring the gravy here. So in total, including the gravy and water, I'm adding 8 cups of liquid. Now after adding the gravy and the water, give it a gentle stir and let's put it on dum. The word dum means steam. So here I'm using a heavy vessel filled with water to seal the lid, thus making it airtight. In about 15 minutes, the biryani looks 50% cooked, and at this stage it's time for the second dum process. We are going to keep a heavy tawa and place the biryani vessel on top of the tawa and cook on slow fire again for about 15 more minutes, and the biryani will be ready. This process is called double cooking. The heat from the stove will be further away from the pot and is partially insulated by the tawa. Trust me, it brings an amazing flavor to your whole biryani. If you don't have tawa, you can also use a heavy plate. In total, it's been around 25 to 30 minutes of cooking, and I'm sure the biryani is almost done. That's it guys, our aromatic, mouth-watering and authentic biryani is ready to be served. Goes perfectly well with the chicken or mutton chukka I've already posted and some onion raita. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If yes, give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. I will be posting more such delicious recipes. So yeah, subscribe and click the bell button. I will see you soon with another awesome video. Until then, stay healthy. Bye.